Macintosh D, we are going to you first. Unmute yourself, please.
Hello, guys. Can y'all hear me?
Yes. How are you?
Macintosh, what's going on, brother?
I'm fine. How y'all doing?
I'm good. Good to hear your voice.
All right. The question I have is for both of you guys. When y'all started investing, what is one thing that keep y'all motivated to not give up?
Oh, I gave up when I first started. Let me be real with you. I gave up. Like I was the same with kudos to my guy Art. Like, man, I hit 2 easy wins. Thought I knew everything. Everybody who's trading knows the story. The next 8 trades was terrible. Oh, man, this is a scam. The scam was me not doing what I was supposed to do and not being disciplined. What brought me back to it is not wanting to depend on anybody. I mean, I've told the story 1,000 times about the lady who took the 80,000 who didn't pay me that. But it ended up being a blessing because I never wanted to be in a position where someone could tell me how to take care of my child. So that's when I was like, okay, great. Let me go all in. There's something there. And also too, like when I went through the Forbes 400, because I love marketing, love marketing and advertising is like my thing. But when I looked at the list of like Forbes 400, because I'm doing deductive reasoning, Sir Martin Sorrell was the only one that owns WPP, and WPP owns everything. He's like the Lucian Grange of advertising. He was the only one at the time on that billionaires list. When I looked at financial services and hedge funds, there were people I'd never heard of that accidentally made like 2.2 billion. I'm like, I need to go play in this playground because I'll do better. So a little bit of deductive reasoning. I wanted to have freedom is what brought me back over here. But in the beginning, like everyone else, I quit too because I thought it was too hard. And because there was no one who looked like us that made it easy to understand. And also too, we have to be real. In the early 2000s and mid 2000s, even in our community, people kept secrets. Like now I get a lot of people like, hey, I should have told you about this 10 years ago. I'm like, I wish you would have. And that's why we do the show every week. But in the early 2000s, or for those of you who started in the late 90s, it was hard as hell to understand investing because every test that you did, you had to put up your money. You couldn't really even paper trade back in the day. But so for those of you that have quit, just get back on the saddle and you'll have your moment. But I think you have to hit a rock bottom before you say, I'm going to go all in on this. I see a lot of people dabbling because the work is going kind of good or business is going kind of good and they're not hurting. And I don't want you guys to hit rock bottom, but often that's what it takes for you to be like, I'm going to burn every bridge behind me to be able to get this down. Rashad, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, for me, what encouraged me to continue was I always knew like there was really no alternative to grow wealth because, you know, I've been like infatuated with the stock market since I was 12 years old. Like I think I told the story a few times, but I always was in love with the stock market and I understood the power of investing at a very young age. So
you saw Trading Places, or what movie inspired you?
Barbarians at the Gate.
Okay.
Wall Street.
Wall Street, yeah.
It was a few movies that really like, you know, I just was really just, to me, it was just way more exciting. It's crazy looking back on it now, but watching like Gordon Gekko was more exciting than like watching, you know, somebody in the NBA because it was like we knew the people in the NBA, like that's all you saw all day. But to see somebody like that was getting that kind of more money and he didn't have to play basketball and he had like a suit on, a pinstripe suit, and he had a chauffeur, and it was just like just dope how they portrayed it to me. I was like, I want to be a businessman, like, you know what I mean, like just the business that just seemed like something that was just like on next level. So I always knew that in order to get to that kind of level, you really couldn't work your way there. You have to invest. I understood that. So that was something that just really encouraged me early on. Even when I took losses, it was like, I took a loss because it was my fault. When anything that happens in your life, you got to take responsibility for. That's a major key. So, you know, when I lost money in any investment, it's because I wasn't properly educated. I took gambles, and it was a learning experience. So I learned from that and educated myself and came back and, you know, realized that, you know, there's no other alternative to building wealth as opposed to just getting income, building a business, and investing. Only way. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for your question, Macintosh. Next we have...
Janet, but before you go, my apologies. I want to issue a public apology for not showing up. I was hanging with Xander, but I do want to apologize for not being there.
No, I know you mentioned you were with your son, so no worries. And we had a really great conversation.
I missed it.
No, it's okay. I mean, a lot of the topics you guys talked about today, we covered at book club. We talked about AI and world history. So it was really good follow up. So thank you for that.
I'll be at the next one.
Awesome.